an afternoon of baseball. This afternoon, the East Stroudsburg University Warriors take on the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams. And Dan, going into the game this afternoon, Philadelphia Textile with 17 wins, needs a win here this afternoon, and they can go over their wins last year, which was 17.
Well, you always like to finish strong, and they have the chance to do that here.
And going on the mound this afternoon will be a familiar name for East Stroudsburg. It'll be Justin Ertel. Justin Ertel pitched for Northeast High School, also participated in Carpenter Cup competition, and his dad is well known in this area, Dan. His dad is the pitching coach, the longtime pitching coach at St. Joseph's University, and he's 0-3 on the season and will look for his first win here this afternoon. How about the starter for the Rams?
Craig Gribben will be starting for Textile this afternoon. Craig is 2-3, and he has an earned run average of 4.30.
Okay, we have the Stroudsburg Warriors 10-18 coming into this afternoon's game. Philadelphia Textile 17-26. Should be a good one. Stay right where you are. First pitch coming right up.
I'm Steve Belmonte.
Welcome back to Alumni Field. I'm John McAdams along with Dan Baker, all set to bring you the East Stroudsburg Warriors and the Philadelphia College of Textile Rams. Let's take a look at the East Stroudsburg University starting lineup. Leading off, playing second base, will be John Quick. Batting second and third will be A.J. Matillo. Batting third at shortstop, Joe Vidala. John Stevenson will be the cleanup hitter, hitting at first base. Justin Ertel will be the pitcher, batting 5. Mike Hoey in left field hits 6th. Mike Pappas, the shortstop, bats 7th. Batting 8th will be Matt Yanoka, and playing center field, and Matt Cannon in right field, batting 9th. Behind, pitcher Craig Gribben for the Textile Rams. Here's a look around the infield. At first base will be Marty Good, Peter DiDonato at second, Jesse Balser at short, over at third, Robert File. Across the outfield, reading right to left, Edward Colgan in left, Steve Martaccio in center field, James McGee in right, Jeff Sock is behind the dish, and on the mound, junior Craig Gribben.
As we mentioned at the outset, John, Craig has a 2-3 record with an earned run average of 4.30. He has pitched 46 innings and 23 strikeouts, 22 walks. He leads the Rams in walks this year on bases on balls. So I guess a key this afternoon will be how good Craig's control is.
Absolutely, and Craig's probably only going to work 2 or 3 innings, Dan, as they have some weekend action coming up, and they want to see some pitchers today. The first pitch of the ball game is right down the pike for a strike, and it's 0-1. Our umpires today behind the plate, the veteran Jack DeBachian, and on the bases, Bob Kurzinski. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-1. The Rams 17-16, and the Warriors 10-18. Now, East Stroudsburg played a doubleheader yesterday. They played it at home, and they were beaten in both ends of that doubleheader yesterday by league opponent Mansfield. There's a swing and a ball beat into the dirt, 1-2. There would be 12-4 in game 1, and were shut out in game 2 by a 4-0 score. However, the Warriors have been very good against non-league opponents, having won 7 games against non-league opponents this season.
Quick is batting 294 as he stands here with a 1-2 count.
Pitch is high, and Quick swings at it nonetheless, and he is out of there, and a strikeout for Gribben, and we have 1 down, and that breaks up the third baseman, A.G. Matillo. Now, you'll see this ball, Dan, break very high, and he got Quick to go fishing for it, and there's 1 out. A.G. Matillo is now the batter, the third baseman. First pitch is low for a ball.
Matillo, John, is batting 305. Both teams hitting about the same at Textile in the season with a 278 team batting average. East Stroudsburg 277.
Ground ball to third, foul. Bob File picking up the ball. Young man out of Ridgewood, New Jersey. Count 1-1. Kind of a cool afternoon here as the wind is blowing slightly. It's 280 down the line to left field, to right field, 346, and a big clout to center field at 421 feet, and there is a bit of, as the ball sails in high, there's a bit of a dip when you get near to the fence, and sometimes when the ball goes out there, the outfielders who are not really used to playing on this field can have some big trouble with it. All right, 2-1. Swinging a drive heading out towards the left field, and that looks like it is up and over. And that's gone. A home run as it cleared the 12 to 15 foot fence above that 280 foot line. And A.J. Matillo has hit a home run, and quickly jumping out is East Stroudsburg by a 1-0 score for Matillo, his third home run of the year, and he got that ball up in the air into the wind.
And John, that was just fair. I don't know if how good of a look we'll get at it down the line, but as you mentioned, it's a short left field fence. Let's take a look. 280, and it's out of here.
All right, 1-0. The Warriors jump out to a quick 1-0 lead, and Joe Vidal, the shortstop, now comes to bat. Vidal, their leading hitter for the Warriors, hitting at .367. Pitch is just low for a ball. Good look at that last pitch from our center field camera. Good look there at Joe Vidal, the shortstop. Young man out of Mayfield, Pennsylvania, pitching there for a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. There's 1 out in the top of the first with the visiting Warriors of East Stroudsburg leading 1-0.
That pitch is upstairs for a ball, 2-1. There's Vidal's numbers: 36 hits, 17 ribbies, and a team leading .367 batting average. Right on the outside corner for a strike, and the count evens up at 2-2.
Craig can put most of his pitches right there, John. He's going to be pretty tough.
No question. Make those batters reach for it. Swinging a ground ball down to short. Jesse Balser has it. Throw across the first in time to Marty Good, and there are 2 outs here in the inning. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter, John Stevenson, playing at first base this afternoon. Comes in with a .358 batting average, has 6 RBIs, and has hit 2 balls out of the ballpark. And Danny has struck out 11 times in his 53 times at bat.
Well, and Craig can strike people out. We mentioned that he has a team-high 22 walks for Textile. He also has 23 strikeouts.
There's a swing and a drive into left field. That's going to find spaces, rolls all the way to the fence. Stevenson takes the big turn around first, is going to try to second, throw to second. He is out at second base on a great throw coming from Ed Colgan to Peter DiDonato, and that will wrap up the inning. The Warriors pick up 1 run. They got 2 hits in the inning. They left 1 on, and we've gone through a half inning of play, and East Stroudsburg in front by a score of 1-0. Now heading out to the mound will be Justin Ertel. Comes back to Philadelphia after a brilliant career at Northeast High School, and this is the batting order that he's going to face for the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams. Steve Martaccio will lead off and play center field. Jesse Balser bats second to shortstop. James McGee will be in right field hitting third. Robert Pyle at third base batting 4. Matt Scully's the designated hitter. Jeff Sock hits 6th, will catch. Ed Colgan will be the left fielder batting 7th. Peter DiDonato hits 8th, plays second base. And Marty Good will be at first base hitting him a 9-hole. And of course, Craig Gribben is the pitcher. Here's the defense behind Justin Ertel. John Stevenson will be at first base. John Quick at second. Joe Vidal at third. And A.J. Matillo at third base. Across the outfield, reading left to right. Mike Hoey in left. Matt Yanoka in center. Matt Cannon over at right. Mike Pappas behind the mound. And Justin Ertel on the mound.
Well, Justin Ertel is 0-3 on the season. Justin's earned run average is .514, so a little high in that department for Justin. He has pitched 14 innings this year, giving up 18 hits, 18 runs, and he's given up 15 walks while striking out 7. So not a good ratio of strikeouts to walks. Usually at the big league level, when somebody has a good ratio of Ks to bases on balls, it's usually 2 to 1. So this is almost just the opposite right here for Justin. But he's got to have some extra emotion going here back in his hometown.
No question about it. All right, you know, he's also, you talked about 18, Dan, all those numbers he had, but he is also, there's another 18. He is just 18 years old. A freshman, 5'10", 195, and that's got to be a pretty tough situation for a youngster to be able to cope with college ball. And his coach says he's doing pretty well. He said he's trying to struggle through it to be able to pitch at this level. Steve Martaccio will lead off for the Rams, and he swings and hits a fly ball out to left field. Mike Hoey doesn't have to move too much, goes to his right and makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Gotta like that.
And it looked like the wind would have carried that ball a little bit, John, and it may be that the home run by A.J. Matillo in the top of the first was wind-aided somewhat. When Steve uppercut that ball, I thought that was going to be a pop-up just behind the infield at first, and it carried almost to the fence.
Very stiff wind blowing out to left field. Jesse Balser, the batter now. He's the shortstop, hitting at 214. And if you're a basketball fan of the Textile Rams, and that name sounds familiar, he is one of Herb McGee's bench players. Very, very good shortstop. Struggling with the bat a bit. Pitches high. And it is 2-1 on Balser. East Stroudsburg with a run in the first inning. Leading it 1-0. Good look at Hertel. Swinging a ground ball down to short. Scooped up there by Vidala. Throw across the infield in time. And two relatively easy outs so far now, Dan, for Justin Hertel.
Nice hands by Joe Vidala. You saw that ball came up on him just a little bit, but he kind of cradled it in his stomach and came up with a good throw to first base. And the first two up are retired. Here's a look at that grounder to shortstop again, and watch the nice handle. See, the ball comes up a little bit, but he keeps it and gets it over to first in time.
James McGee, the batter, for a strike. You notice how he kept his legs closed there, Dan, so the ball would not skip through. Good mechanics there. Jim McGee hitting at .316. He has 2 home runs and has driven in 29. 2 out in the inning. Pitches low for a ball, 1-1. But he's made real good use of his hits. Look at that stat there, Dan. 36 hits, 29 RBIs.
Got a nice shot of catcher Mike Pappas framing that ball. Mike tried to bring it up into the strike zone. That last pitch a little bit low and outside.
Now that hits McGee, and he made not much of a run to get out of that, but way of that ball. But that ball, frankly, was not coming in there very hard. If you're going to take one for the team, that's the kind to take.
That's right. Now watch this. It's a high breaking ball, and McGee says, well, there's a way to get on here.
You don't even say ouch with that one. Bob Feil, the batter now, the cleanup hitter, hitting at .400. And he's had a good season, 48 hits, good for 32 RBIs, has 11 extra base hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs.
That's 32 RBIs, a team high.
Ball's outside and low for a ball. First runner on is McGee. And McGee is a threat to run. He has 6 out of 7 in the stolen base department.
We're playing in the bottom of the first, and East Stroudsburg is leading 1-0.
There's a ball. Good stop by catcher Pappas there as that ball almost skittered past him. Bob Feil, a freshman out of Father Judge, and another one of those fine Catholic League players. And the Catholic League, Dan, has really produced some great baseball players, great athletes overall.
It has, and of course one of them, Gene Shaw, might make the Phillies this year. He's out of LaSalle High School and Villanova University.
Swing and a miss. Down to second base goes McGee, and he's thrown out on a good strong move by catcher Pappas. Scored that 2-4 on the caught stealing. So the inning is over. Textile goes down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We've gone through 1. There's your numbers. Second inning here at Alumni Field. I'm John McAdams along with Dan Baker. Glad you're with us. Justin Hertel, the 5-hitter for the East Stroudsburg Warriors, fouls one off to the right. He's the pitcher this afternoon. Return to Philadelphia. Justin hitting at .247 on the season. He has 11 RBIs and no home runs. Just missed outside. 1-1. Kind of a strange situation here, Dan, where the pitcher is not the designated hitter today, and usually you rarely see a college team that does not use their designated hitter in one form or the other.
Well, this suggests to you that they think a lot of Justin's hitting ability.
Ball is flied out to center field. Martaccio moves back and makes the catch for 1 out. And as our old friend Joe Q. Herrick once said about the fact that there is no designated hitter, it's rare but not unusual. I never knew what he meant by that, did you?
Joe Q. Herrick.
Number 14.
Here's Mike Hoey coming to the plate. Mike hitting at .240. Has 18 hits on the season, 5 of them doubles.
Mike is a senior, 6'2", 193 pounds, out of Delaware Valley High School in Milford.
Good pitch right across the knees on the outside, and pitcher Craig Gribben continues to work these Warriors outside. There's another pitch, and he's ahead of him, 0-2.
Keeping it right on the corner, and that's what we said in the first inning. If he could keep it there, he should do well. A wind-aided home run by A.J. Matillo, the game's only score. We're playing in the top of the second. East Stroudsburg leading 1-0.
That high around the letters, and it's now 1-2. We mentioned earlier you could see as many as 3 or 4 Rams pitchers this afternoon. Working that outside again, but just missed as that ball curved away, and catcher Jeff Sock tried to frame it, but that was just a little too far outside. 2-2 the count. Swinging a ball lofted high and foul down the right field line. Coming over now and giving it chase, good chase there, was the right fielder James McGee, but it drops foul and the count remains 2-2.
And a chance to salute there as we see the American flag at Philadelphia Textile at Alumni Field. And they have quite a program here. Director of Athletics is Tom Shirley. I know most of you are familiar with the exploits of Herb McGee, who's won over 500 games as the head basketball coach at Philadelphia Textile. Tom Shirley, incidentally, was inducted into the Plymouth White Marsh Hall of Fame, as was our good friend Ed Wachowski of Elite Sportswear Products.
Swinging a ground ball down to third, going to be a tough play. File across the infield in time. 2 outs, and File had to move in quickly on that ball as that ball kind of died on the little bit wet turf, and he made the play to first. And those inductions, by the way, that you talked about took place early today. Now watch this as File has to come here hard, Dan.
Yeah, this is a choppy ball. File makes a nice play on it. Fields it cleanly. And, of course, if he had allowed that ball to bounce again, then we might have been looking at a base hit for Mike Hoey.
Mike Pappas, the catcher, who tossed out the runner in the last inning, swings and fouls it back our way. 291 is his hitting numbers coming into the game. He has 4 doubles, a triple, no homers, and has driven in 11.
Pappas, a good defensive catcher, as we observed in the bottom of the first inning.
Stroudsburg had some trouble on their Florida trip, going 1-8. They've struggled in the PSAC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, winning only 2 games there, but have been very good against outside competition. And he's punched out strike 3. Great pitch. Again, Dan, he's working the outside corner and doing it to a fairly well as Craig Gribben records strikeout number 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We've gone through an inning and a half. 1-0 Warriors in front.
With John McAdams, I'm Dan Baker at Alumni Field on the campus of Philadelphia Textile. Here's a look at that last strikeout. Now, watch again how effectively number 40, Textile pitcher Craig Gribben, uses the corner. Right there. It was the fastball, and he caught Pappas looking. Pappas, a somewhat diminutive fellow, as you see. And as a matter of fact, John, I thought he was standing a little far away from the plate. And to him, that last pitch may have appeared outside. He might want to stand a little bit closer to the plate in the batter's box. And
gentlemen, it counts as the one, number 22, the umpire there on your left, Jack DeBachian, along with Bob Krasinski, a veteran umpire's crew. You see Bob Krasinski popping some of those seeds into his mouth that the players like to chew nowadays. And now they've also, as you know, they've taken the tobacco ban, and also it goes to umpires as well. They can't chew the tobacco anymore at the collegiate level and at the minor league level. And a lot of guys have had to change their during the game activities because of this. There's some of the young ladies enjoying the afternoon. It's overcast. It's 62 degrees right now, but there's a stiff wind blowing, and we saw that in the first inning, Dan, because that helped Matillo's home run clear that fence 280 feet away down the left field line.
Yes, it did, and we also saw Steve Martaccio's fly ball go deep to left, leading off for Textile this afternoon.
Bottom half of the 2nd inning, and Bob File, who was at bat when James McGee was caught trying to pilfer second base. And running over Bob's numbers again, the freshman's had a great year, hitting at 400. A couple of homers, 32 runs batted in. Good pitch right down the pike for a strike there. And both pitchers seem to have their good stuff here today. And a day like this will help both pitchers. It's not real hot. And File beats that into the ground foul over into the stand area, and quickly Hertel gets ahead of him 0-2.
I'm sorry, John. At 6 feet 4 inches, Bob is the tallest ram. Chris Nowasic is also 6'4".
0-2 the count. Pitch. Swinging a ground ball down to second base. Picked up there by Quick. Throw to first in time. And there's one down.
Bob went with that the opposite way, which is good. A lot of times a hitter will try to pull that ball. Unfortunately for File, it went right to second baseman John Quick. Let's watch again as File hits the outside pitch on the right side, but the second baseman John Quick moves over in front and makes the play cleanly.
Matt Scully, the designated hitter, first baseman by trade out of Bishop McDevitt High School in Glenside, Pennsylvania. He comes into the game hitting at .314. The curve in there for a strike. And both pitchers getting the ball over the plate, and that's what you like on one of these cool days. You don't want to sit here too long, Dan.
John, so far the weather's cooperating with us. I mean, over in Jersey earlier today, as that foul ball comes right back past us to send the count to 0-2, I mean, it was intermittently raining, and at times it was a pretty good downpour. But it hasn't rained since this game has started. In fact, for the hour or so that we were here beforehand, it was not raining.
All right, pitches 0-2. Just missed a little high, 1-2.
Well, that's a good pitch to throw, 0-2. Maybe you get a chance to fool the batter. But Scully was not fooled on this one. Watch this breaking ball come in just a little high.
There's a swing and a ground ball down to third, picked up there by Batillo. Throw to first in time, and Batillo had a cut across in front of the shortstop, Joe Vidala, to make that play. Had they waited till that ball got to Vidala, Scully, who gets down the line pretty well, might have beaten that out. 2 down. Good play there by Joe Vidala.
Jeff Sock.
Well, Jeff Sock leads the Rams in doubles with 10, leads the Rams in home runs with 3, and he's a guy who could easily tie this game with that short left field fence.
Pitches low for a ball. He's had to do most of the catching throughout this season. Bill Schindel, who was supposed to help out, has not played this year, and it would have been a pretty good battle for that number 1 position. Just missed. 2-0 the count. Good look there at Jeff Sock. Jeff Sock out of Ben Salem, a management major here at Textile. All right, Hertel ready. Comes to the plate. Swing and a miss. Ball in the outside corner, and it's now 2-1. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. 1-0 the score. East Stroudsburg getting a home run from A.J. Matillo in inning number 1 for the game's only run. Right down the pike, strike 2, and the count evens at 2-2. And now Sock's going to have to be a little aggressive here now. And what do you like here, Dan? A pitch on the outside, make him go reaching for it?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like that breaking ball, and he got that last one over.
Ground ball down to short, picked up there by Vidala. Throw to first in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Justin Hertel, as the shortstop, the second baseman, and the third baseman making plays in that inning. And there's your numbers after 2. East Stroudsburg in front. Smile, Bruce, you're on camera. Our cameraman down there now shakes his head. Well, that's something. Here's the numbers, top half of the third inning. And Bruce stationed down the first base line.
And Bruce keeping time with the music here. You know, he's a rock and roll fan. You can tell that just by looking at him.
Well, the other night at the lacrosse game, we had JR, our center field cameraman, doing a little bit of a dance for us. So I guess we have a dance contest going with our camera crew here today. All right, Matt Yanoka, the number 8 hitter and a center fielder, comes to the plate. He struggled with the bat a little bit this year, hitting at 193. He has 12 RBIs, has 3 extra base hits of his 11 hits, 1 double and 2 triples.
High and outside with that delivery, 1-0 to Yanoka. And both pitchers, which have struggled a little bit coming into this afternoon's action, are doing a good job through the first 2 innings.
That they are. 1-0 the score will attest to that. Pitch on the inside, and it is 2-0. You know, it's a funny situation. Dan Baker and I have known each other as the ball is on the outside corner for a strike. Good pitch, and again, Gribben, keeping that ball away from the right-handed batters in particular, have known each other and worked in the same areas of, I guess I could use the word expertise without being too bloated. There's a pitch for strike 2. For 24 years, since 1972, with the old Philadelphia Blazers, Dan, this is the first time that you and I have shared the microphone in 24 years. Unbelievable.
Well, we'll have to do it more frequently in the future. Although, as you say, we've worked so many times in the similar areas and with the same organizations. And John, it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon.
All right, full count. And that ball was out of the strike zone. It's punched into right field. Nice piece of hitting there by Yanoka as he swung at ball 4 and dumped it into right field. And the throw back to first base. He made the wide turn, and he is out. A great tag there by first baseman Marty Good. And, boy, I'll tell you, that was a weird play. A weird play.
Well, we're going to get a chance to take a look at it. Yanoka, who's hitting only 182, loops one to right. Now watch this. Boom.
Makes the big round turn, and boy, he just got caught off there. You don't see that play very often. So it will be a base hit. And as the batter now is Matt Cannon, who fouls one off. And I'll tell you, it's been a long time since I've seen that play happen.
Jim McGee with that strong throw back behind the runner to make the out.
Matt Cannon has no batting average. He's only been to the plate 4 times this season. We almost had a runner the other night at Wilmington thrown out on a single to right field that got to the right fielder so fast, he winged the ball to first base. It was a slow-moving catcher as the count is now 1-1. The play at first base was very close. 1-1 the count. Right up there, and
it's a good breaking ball.
1-2.
Both pitchers are using that curveball effectively.
Good look at the batter by Gribben. Comes to the plate, swing, and he got him reaching. Pop up near first base, and moving over is first baseman Marty Good. Makes the play, 2 down.
Now sometimes when a right-handed batter takes the ball the opposite way, it's because the pitcher may have overpowering speed. I think in this case it's more a question of Craig Gribben having that good control and keeping the ball on the outside part of the plate.
Number 12. Second baseman.
Top of the order, and John Quick out of Trenton, New Jersey, one of the 8 local players on the East Stroudsburg team from the Philadelphia and the nearby environs. Good pitch right down the pike. Strike, as he really had some mustard on that one.
East Stroudsburg was Jim Barniak's
that is correct.
Undergraduate school. And for those of you who remember, the former sports director of Prism and the Evening Bulletin sports writer. I guess we're showing our age a little bit, John, huh? But
well, a little bit. You said it though. I just read about it. 0-2 is the count.
You know who else is a graduate of East Stroudsburg? Mark Anderson, one of the Phillies trainers.
Oh yeah, okay. Way outside, kind of a waste pitch there, and you keep noticing here that Craig Gribben keeps working that outside corner, and he's done it with some success. He's given up 3 hits. The only one that's hurt him has been the A.J. Matillo home run. 1-2. Just missed low, 2-2. Looked like on that last pitch that Gribben almost fell off the mound with that big follow through. Good look at the young man. Shakes off one sign. Breaking ball, and he's got to tip that pitch a little bit, Dan. I was watching his hands there, and we saw it on the camera. It looked like he was kind of fooling around with the ball in his glove, and that's, I'll tell you, eventually somebody on the other side is going to pick that up, if we can pick it up here.
He tried to, again, shoot for the outside part of the plate, but it was just a little bit too far outside. So we have a full count with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. East Stroudsburg leading 1-0.
Shakes off the pitch, and there's the fastball right back to the screen. And there's that hole in the screen. We had that here when we were here the last time, and I'm just wondering if the ball could come through that.
Well, if it does, it won't come through with a lot of velocity, I don't think. I think only a kind of a high pop-up or something could come back and through it. Something is going to come straight back and hard. I couldn't get over that, I don't think.
Full count, swinging a ground ball down to shortstop. Balser goes right past him, and that would have been a tough play to make anyway, and we'll see how they rule that. And Quick is on at first base, and that will bring up A.J. Matillo.
Well, why don't you be the scorer at home
Number
here?
8,
What do you think, hit or an error?
A.J. Matillo.
Oh.
I think he got grueling error on that one. And that will be E6. All right, A.J. Matillo, who hit a home run his last time, and now a runner on at first base. And, you know, with that hole in the screen, I told Steve Degler this the last game, the color man here, if that, there is the hole in the screen, and if that ball comes through there, the color man has to dive in front of the play-by-play guy to protect him, so just keep that in mind.
Well, yeah, but maybe if I don't dive in front of you, I'll be the play-by-play guy the next game.
True enough. Good way to look at it. Outside.
1 ball, no strikes. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. This is the guy, as John said, that accounted for the game's only run. The ball probably only traveled about 290 feet, but that left field fence is about 280.
Snap throw to first, and diving back in is Quick.
And even though it's a high fence in left, the ball that A.J. hit was way up into the air.
Quick on the season has stolen 2 bases in 4 tries. There's the ball, gets by the first baseman. The first baseman and the runner get tangled up, and it's an overthrow, and
that'll be an error on the pitcher.
So that is the 2nd error in the inning. And down to second base goes Quick, and you saw there where the runner and the first baseman got tangled up, and File fell over the runner, and the ball rolled up the hill. There was a white line along that hill, and the ball is out of play if it crosses that line.
If Quick hadn't been entangled with Marty Good, then Marty probably could have come up with that ball.
Swing a little chop down the third base line, foul. Stopped by the East Stroudsburg bench there.
Now did you see when we saw our third base cameraman, did you see you can tell that once again there's somebody with a lot of rhythm down there.
Yeah, well, those guys, they have to keep warm out there too. Here's Matillo now. Count is 1-1. See the look there that Gribben gives him. Comes to the plate. Bounces, good stop there by Sock. And the catchers today are so trained, Dan, to use their chest protector to knock that ball down and keep it in front of them. And Sock did just that.
And that's the fundamentally correct way to prevent the ball from getting by you and allowing the runner to advance.
Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. John Quick at second. There he is, number 12, black jersey. Boy, that just missed. And Gribben's kind of saying, like, where was that?
Well, he's had success by keeping on the outside part of the plate. And a lot of times if a pitcher doesn't have overpowering speed, he'll try to use the location to help him. And Craig has done that to his benefit this afternoon.
All right, 3-1 the count. Look at the runner. Comes to the plate. Swung on, ground ball down to third base. Picked up by File, and he kicks the ball. And that would have been a tough play, too, in all honesty. And now there's runners on the corners with 2 out in the inning, and this is a situation really.
Number 5,
now that,
Joe
see, I think that might be an infield hit because he couldn't have used the glove on that. He had to come up with a perfect bare hand grab and throw, which was, of course, Mike Schmidt's strong suit, the Hall of Fame third baseman for the Phillies for so many years. But File did not come up with it, and even had he, John, I don't know if he could have thrown out Matillo at first base, who has some speed.
All right, so that'll be a base hit, runners on the corners, and now you see a big mound conference going on out there as Don Flynn, 32, with his back to us right now, is the head coach here, and he's setting up the defense that he wants here. And Don now heads back to the dugout. Textile leaves tomorrow morning for a road trip, as the weekends automatically mean you are playing conference action, and they will be tied with St. Rose at the top of the New York Collegiate Athletic Association.
Here's the Warriors' best hitter, Joe Vidala, 367 coming in.
Grounded out to short his first time. There goes the runner at first, and we're just going to let him go. And you almost have to give him a stolen base there, even though the rules say if it could be that you wouldn't have to. But I think in that case, the stolen base will be awarded, as Patillo goes to second.
I wanted to say conscientious objector. I know that.
Well, it could be. They just decided not to let him go. Defensive indifference, I think,
Yes.
is the word that you're looking for. However, conscientious objector. I guess I often use that when I talk about defensive indifference. Now they're going to go ahead and put Vidala on, and they're not going to fool with him. And boy, it's really getting overcast here now all of a sudden the last couple of minutes.
Well, John Stevenson, the on-deck hitter and the cleanup hitter for the Warriors, is hitting .358, so he's no slouch at the plate either. So that'll be an intentional walk.
There's ball 4 as Vidala's at first, Patillo at second, John Quick over at third, and John Stevenson, who singled his first time up, tried to stretch it into a double, and a great throw by Ed Colgan in left field cut him down at second base.
Well, Gribben hasn't given up a hard hit ball in the inning, and the bases are loaded with 2 out.
High, tailed inside for a ball, 1-0.
That's the hardest pitch that Craig has thrown in these first 3 innings. He had some mustard on that one.
Really getting dark and overcast by the second here. Pitching the swing and the foul, heading over to our truck and back into the parking lot, and the count is even at 1-1. You see the batter there, Stevenson, shaking the hand a little bit. He caught that ball right off of the barrel of the bat.
He fouled back an excellent fastball by Gribben.
Swinging a drive into left field, foul as he tried to hit that short porch out there and just was turned around completely on a good pitch there by Gribben, and now it's 1-2, and there's a real good opportunity now for Gribben, who's worked the outside corner, Dan, very successfully, to get a couple pops at this outside corner now without getting himself in trouble.
Yeah, I'd come back with the fastball and keep it outside. But he tried to curve and just missed. That's just outside the black, and I would do the same thing again. Just keep this ball away from Stevenson. All right, counts 2-2. He still has one more pitch here he could fool with. Taking his time, out of the full motion, comes to the plate, swing and a miss. He got him. Good piece of pitching there by Craig Gribben as he got out of a real nasty situation. No runs. There were 2 base hits in the inning. There was 2 errors, and the sacks are left full. We've gone through 2.5 in an interesting ball game here, Dan Baker, and there's the numbers. Let's look at this last pitch. Stevenson actually got a piece of this, but the catcher did a good job, Jeff Sock, of holding on. Strike 3, swinging. Good pitching by Craig Gribben. Craig, coming in with a 2-3 record and a 4.30 earned run average, has only given up 1 earned run and 1 run overall in the first 3 innings of pitching for him today. Textile coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd. There's a look at Craig, and I think he and his coach and teammates can be pretty happy with the job that he's turned in. And meanwhile, on the other side of the diamond, Justin Ertel has really improved his numbers. Justin, there he is right there for East Stroudsburg University. And we mentioned that Justin came in with a high earned run average and no wins and 3 losses for his 3 decisions. And yet he has pitched shutout ball through the first 2 innings and hasn't allowed a hit.
Number 15, left fielder Ed Colgan.
All right, here we go, and there we see another of our cameramen, and these guys are all into this music. That's George. All these guys into the dancing mood today. You saw the young man that Craig Gribben was talking to over there. That's Mike Christie, who will be pitching one of the games at Dowling tomorrow. One of the starting pitchers. Also, by the way, he formerly pitched at St. Joseph's. All right, the batter now is Ed Colgan, the left fielder, and he has a quick strike on him. Curveball misses outside, and it is 1-1.
Well, the Rams are going to see if they can get something started with the bottom of the order. They have the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters coming up in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Colgan hitting at .260 as the count is now 2-1. Ed has 7 RBIs, has also smacked 1 homer of his 20 hits. He has 4 of them for extra bases, 1 double, a pair of triples, and a home run. All low and outside, and he swung at that, and the count is now even at 2-2. Justin Ertel returning to Philadelphia after a high school career at Northeast High School, and As you said, he's got to be a little nervous about this, but so far has pitched very well, has not allowed the Rams a base hit yet. Has hit one batter, swing and a miss, he got him, and that's all for Colgan, and he heads back to the dugout. First strikeout victim for Justin Ertel, and Peter DiDonato, the second baseman, heads up next.
Let's look at that strikeout. This is Ed Colgan missing the outside breaking pitch. If I'm not mistaken, Carl Churkin, Channel 29 sports director, is a graduate of Northeast High School where he was an all-public league second baseman.
A little bit before Ertel's time, however. Here's a breaking ball low for, if we want to talk about people who are at our age, ball low.
Well, I think some people our age are out there watching.
Yeah, true enough. Outside corner, nipped, and we're even at 1-1. Peter DiDonato hitting at .250, has 4 RBIs, 2 extra base hits among his 13. Struck out 13 times, walked 11 times, and swung at a pitch that was breaking away, and it's now 1-2. And Ertel has mixed up his pitches very nicely too, and he's had Textile off balance, Danny.
Yes, he has, John. That the strikeout against Colgan was his first, but there have not been a lot of hard hit balls by the Rams in these first 3 innings. The only base runner, a hit batter, Jim McGee, and then he was thrown out trying to steal second.
Ball swung and fouled off and off to the first base side.
In fact, I thought McGee had second stolen, but I thought he just beat the throw, but apparently a real good tag by shortstop Joe Vidala, who was covering.
We mentioned a win today will surpass the amount of wins that Textile had last year with 17. This is Don Flynn's 5th year here after working with Skip Wilson over at Temple for 17 years. Swinging a ground ball down towards second base, takes the big hop, picked up there by Quick, throw to first in time, and Quick almost got short hopped on that play, but played it well. And only 1 ball through the first 8 batters has been hit out of the infield by the Rams. As we go to first baseman Marty Good hitting out of the 9-hole.
Number 46,
Marty Good comes in carrying a 189 batting average. He has 4 RBIs and 18 hits on the season.
Martascio, the only guy to get the ball out of the infield on that fly to left.
Marty Good out of Glendora, New Jersey, my old hometown, out of Paul VI High School, just a freshman. 1-0 the count, 2 outs in the inning. Just missed outside, 2-0.
Marty went to take a pitch here. Marty starting at first base.
Paul VI has also had some pretty good baseball programs in the past, and another one of those. There's the ball, breaks inside, and it's now 3-0.
Ertel has hit a batter, McGee, but he has not allowed a walk yet. However, with a 3-0 count, that mark could be in jeopardy.
There's the pitch for a strike, 3-1. Outfield plays deep, but almost straight away on Marty Good. Big kid physically. There you see the outfield.
And like a lot of college fields, this is unconventional. 280 in left, 421 in center. There's a foul for strike 2, full count. And I think it's 346 down the right field line.
Right. Down the left field line, even with that short 280, there is a screen about 15 to 20 feet high, which goes pretty much across the outfield until you come into deep left center field. There's ball 4, bounced in the dirt, and the ball's free, and the catcher doesn't realize that the ball is free, and finally Pappas picks it up, but that's as far as Good's going to go at first base, and that's just the second base runner that the Rams have had. And we go to the top of the lineup, and Steve Martaccio.
The only batter to get the ball out of the infield so far for the Rams. He hit the fly to left. It appeared to be a ball that was going just behind the infield, but it carried deep to left before everything was said and done.
Steve out of Enfield, New Jersey, a senior, just 5'6", plays a great center field. Swinging a ground ball down to short, picked up there by Vidala, flipped to second baseman John Quick, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. We've gone through 3. The score remains 1-0, Warriors in front. All right, top half of the fourth inning. I'm John McAdams along with Dan Baker. We're at Alumni Field here as the East Stroudsburg University Warriors and the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams battling it out on an overcast Friday afternoon. And the batter now is Justin Ertel swinging a ground ball to short. Jesse Balser has to throw to first, and having to make the tag was a first baseman, Marty Good, as he was pulled off the bag, Dan.
And he made a nice play. So that'll be a 6-3 out. Shortstop over to first base. There's a look at Marty. And let's watch Marty go up high, take the high throw, and make the tag. Up he goes, and he tags Ertel coming by. By the way, Ertel has not allowed a hit through the first 3 innings.
Mike Hoey, the batter, grounded out to third his first time out of Milford, Pennsylvania. Takes a strike. Mentioned East Stroudsburg lost a doubleheader yesterday, playing at home against Mansfield. Ball's inside. They had a very strange doubleheader on Tuesday. They played Shippensburg in a league doubleheader. Ship beat them in the first game 23-0, but they came back in the second game. It was a 6-5 game. There's a swing and a ground ball. Great stop at third there by File across the infield. High throw in time. Nice play there by third baseman Robert File and first baseman Marty Good, and combining on a nice play there to retire Hoey.
Number 7.
And once again, Marty's height serving him well, 6'1" freshman, and he goes up to get it. File makes the high throw, but Marty has it. He comes back on the bag, so no need for a tag this time on the runner going by.
Catcher Mike Pappas, the batter. That 23-0 and then 6-5 points out, Dan, that baseball, no matter what happens in game 1 or yesterday, you always start out at 0-0 the next day, and anything can happen. Swinging a ground ball again to File. Knocks it down with his body, throw to first in time. Some nice plays in that inning by the Rams as they threw a little bit of leather at the Warriors. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We're flying through 3.5 innings here. And the home run by A.J. Matillo in the first inning is the only time the plate has been dented this afternoon. There's your numbers, 1-4-0 for Stroudsburg. They've left 4 on the sacks. 0-2 for the Rams. They've left 1 runner on base.
You think Justin Ertel is helping his numbers this afternoon?
Well, I'll tell you.
Looking for his first win of the season. Has not allowed a run, has not allowed a hit through the first 3 innings, despite coming in with the earned run average over 5 and giving up 18 hits in 14 innings of pitching. He had also walked 15, so he was walking better than a batter per inning. And so far today, he has walked only 1 in 3 innings. He's hit a batter, but has not allowed a base hit.
There's the Textile scorer, Chuck, who helped us out before the game. Don't know what Chuck's last name is, but there he is. And it's like he knows he's on TV. Look at him smiling.
Yes, he's helping us with the pronunciations. He said he did not like it when he was at a recent Rams away game, and somebody was referring to the center fielder as Steve Martocchio.
That is absolutely true, and there's a couple of familiar guys just sitting out watching a baseball game this afternoon, and a very good one thus far as we head into the bottom half of the 4th inning, as the Rams will send Jesse Balser, James McGee, and Robert File to the plate. Jack DeBaggi and the home plate umpire tidying up the dish, and we're set to go here. And Jesse Balser will come to the plate, grounded out to short his first time. Mentioned Jesse was a bench player for Herb McGee, and
Jesse Balser.
when the Rams participated in the NCAA tournament here about a month ago, it was coincidental with the same time that the Rams baseball team went south, and Herb was nice enough to let Jesse go with the baseball team because he knew he would be an integral part there, and he missed the 3 NCAA games. But however, Jesse is one of those rare individuals anymore that you see playing 2 sports, although if you look at the University of Pennsylvania, they've got a couple of them. Their punter, Tim Henwood, is also the center fielder on the baseball team, and their fine quarterback, Mark DeRosa, who led the Quakers last year, as we see Jesse Balser down talking to Don Flynn. led them to an unbeaten season, also is the regular shortstop for the red and blue.
I wonder if Don might be suggesting to the Rams to take a few more pitches. Now, Bouncer took that one, and even though it was called a strike, I think Jesse thought the ball might have been out of the strike zone. Justin, as we said, had been walking more than a batter per inning coming in.
Ground ball down to short, picked up there by Vidala, throw to first in time, and there is one away. After that conversation with Balser and Coach Don Flynn, the third baseman, A.J. Matillo, moved in a little bit, thinking they might have been talking about a bunt. All right, this will bring up
right fielder
James McGee. He was hit with a pitch and then was caught stealing, trying to go to second base a couple pitches later.
Balser has now grounded out the shortstop twice.
Also, that pitch that hit McGee, there's a swing and a ground ball to third. Good stop there by Matillo. Throw to first in time. And Dan, both of these pitchers doing a great job in keeping the ball down. As we mentioned before, only one ball hit to the outfield, and that was Martaccio's fly to left field to start off the ball game for the Textile Rams. So Ertel has done a great job keeping that ball down.
And we're seeing some sure-handed infielding as well, John, on that left side especially.
And last inning, the Rams really threw some leather at the Warriors on 3 infield plays. Batter now was Robert File, who grounded out the second his first time. First pitch is a ball. Ball punched foul over on the first base side, and that evens the count out at 1-1. On the other side of the coin, what Craig Ribbon has thrown, he's only allowed 1, 2, 3, 4 balls to have been hit to the outfield. So these pitchers are doing their job. They're keeping the ball down, and the fielders are doing their job, especially in the infield, and coming up with the plays.
And when you get that kind of a combination, you get a good baseball game.
Another big guy, File, and the outfield plays him straight away, butt deep. Ball bounces in the dirt. And it is 2-1. There you saw catcher Mike Pappas picking up that ball and heading back. Pappas, if you look at the hat, he does not wear a helmet. Most of the catchers today, 99%, Dan, wear the helmets, and he does not wear one. Where's the soft cap? I haven't seen that in a long time. Can be a bit dangerous, especially where those foul balls come off bats. There's a swing and a ground ball to short. Nice pick there by Vidalo. Throw to first in time. 1, 2, 3 inning by Justin Ertel. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. There's the numbers through 4. Back here at Alumni Field, I'm John McAdams along with Dan Baker. New arm on the mound, Dan.
The new arm belongs to Mike Christie, whom we're looking at, number 41. Mike is 4-6 on the season. He's been the busiest pitcher for the Rams. He's thrown 59 innings. He started 10 games. That's the most on the staff. He has allowed a total of 53 runs, 39 earned, and he has an earned run average of .595.
Formerly with the St. Joseph's Hawks, transferred here to Textile and started the game that we did back on the 16th of March here against Villanova. Ended up taking a loss in a 9-2 Wildcat victory that day. Craig Ribbon pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He walked 1, struck out 3 along the way, and gave up a home run ball. The only run of the game to A.J. Matillo. Batter now is Matt Yanoka starting off the 5th inning, and he singled. And one of the weirdest plays you ever see, Dan, he took that big turn around first base, and he was gunned down by James McGee at right field as he couldn't scramble back to first base in time.
Yanoka, who came into the game with a meager 182 batting average, looking for his second hit of the game.
Yanoka from Springford High School out in Spring City, Pennsylvania. Again, 8 players on this team from the local area here in the Philadelphia and environs as the ball rips the outside corner, and it's 1-2. We'll surprise Christie in here today as he was one of the scheduled pitchers over the weekend. There's a swing and a ground ball down to second base, picked up there by DiDonato, goes to first in time, and Christie comes in and picks up right where Gribben left off in getting the Warriors to hit hit ground balls.
Donato gets the big
Number
hop.
26, right fielder, Matt
Gets
Cannon.
the ball over to first base and plenty of time to retire Yanoka.
Matt Cannon, the batter, looking for his first base hit of the year.
You saw Donato at his second base position for Philadelphia Textile.
Cannon only been in 4 games this year. Has been at the plate just 5 times. He's out of High Point Regional in Lafayette, New Jersey. Player on this team, Mike Bobard, who was Bobird, pardon me, was a pitcher, a ground ball foul, and comes from St. James High School out in, well, it's closed now, I guess out in Chester, Pennsylvania. And St. James, a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth when that school was closed a couple of years ago.
St. James produced a lot of great athletes over the years. I think St. Joseph's Director of Athletics, Don DeGiulia, is a graduate of St. James High School.
I believe you're right. Was a high school basketball star there for the St. James club. Eye count is 1 and 2.
I think Jack McKinney may have coached there. Jack Ramsey may have coached there as well.
Ground ball foul. A lot of people don't know, Dan, a little bit of trivia for you here, that Jack Ramsey was the baseball coach at St. Joe's at one time.
I did not know that.
Little trivia there, which we pass on free of charge. Now that it is really brightening up here, as it looked like we were going to get some rain a couple of innings ago, and almost instantaneously, and now it has brightened up considerably. Ball right on the corner. Great pitch, and Cannon is punched out by Jack DeBadjian. What a great pitch there, Danny.
Yeah, breaking ball, and it's just tough to do a lot with that pitch.
Number 12,
take a look at yourself.
second baseman,
Oh,
John Quick.
that was what they call a Picasso. He painted the corners with that one. Top of the order, John Quick struck out, got on an error in a difficult 3rd inning for the starter, Craig Gribben.
Hit one of those chopping balls towards shortstop, and Jesse Bowser couldn't quite come up with it.
1-0 the count. Christie to the plate. Swinging a ball driven out to center field. Martaccio on his horse for this one. Over the shoulder catch. Nice catch by Martaccio as the Rams continue to throw leather at the Warriors. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We're halfway home. 1-0. East Stroudsburg leads.
Well, this is a beautiful catch. You know, there was another center fielder wearing number 24 who made an over-the-shoulder catch back in 54 at the Polo Grounds. Man, oh man, Willie Mays and Steve Martaccio right there. A little bit of a Mays-like move. That was a terrific catch. And, you know, I think he made that catch look easier than it was because he got a good jump on the ball when it left the bat of John Quick.
He had a long way to run and going very hard to his left. And there's a lot of room to run around out there, Dan, in center field. We mentioned 421 feet, the straightaway center, but every bit of 380, 390 into those alleys, so...
The ball had to go about 375 feet. What do you think?
I would think so, and it was a good catch by Martaccio. As I mentioned, when he was at bat last inning, he could really go get him there in the outfield, and he certainly proved that. We've got a great ball game here as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning, as Justin Ertel on the mound in his return to Philadelphia, looking for his first collegiate win. Good look at the Textile bench there, and
Jim McGee looking for a little more camera time as he walks behind the bench down toward one of our camera positions. Justin Ertel, who has a no-hitter through 4.
All right, the batter now will be Matt Scully. We had our first one of those no-nos down in Wilmington in 3 seasons this past Saturday, a combined one by Jose Rosado and Pat Flory. And I'll tell you, the fans really got into that in the last couple of innings as the pitch is in there for a strike.
Well, they're pretty rare. I know, you know, having been at the vet since '72, Terry Mulholland finally throws the first 9-inning no-hitter, and I think that's the only one in Veteran Stadium history, and this will be the 25th year of the vet.
1-1. I do remember the 5-inning no-hitter,
Yes.
the guy from Montreal, Pitch Perez. Low.
2 balls and a strike. Ertel has been impressive today. His dad's got to be really proud, and I'm sure his dad will have a chance to see this game on television.
Swing a drive to left field. That might find some room. That's up and over. That's gone. A home run by Matt Scully
Home run by number 38.
as he
Matt
hits that ball
Scully.
some 350 feet away. And with one swing of the bat, this ball game is tied as that cleared that 15 to 20 foot fence out there. And you see the entire Rams team coming off the bench to come out and congratulate Matt Scully as he crosses the plate with the tying run, and we are tied at 1.
Matt's third home run of the year, and let's take a look at it. And this is just the first hit in the game that Justin Ertel allows as it disappears into the woods.
Number 4, catcher, Jeff
And there was
Sock.
nothing that left fielder Mike Hoey could do about that one.
And Scully getting the congratulations, still getting him there. Number 38 on the bench from his mates. All right, now we go to Jeff Sock, who grounded out to short his first time. Ground ball right up the middle into center field. Base hit as that was hit right on the nose. Bounced just over second base and rolls into center field. And 2 hits in a row for the Rams after going through 4 innings with getting nary a 1.
Here's the base hit. Goes the right up the
Number
middle.
15,
That's a good
left
place to
fielder,
hit the ball.
Ed Colgan.
Ed Colgan, the batter, the left fielder, he struck out his first time. Now we see whether young Mr. Ertel will get rattled here, Danny. There's the bunt, nice bunt, drops down, picked up by Pappas, foul ball.
It just rolled foul. So Don Flynn is looking for the sacrifice here to put that lead run in scoring position in the bottom of the 5th. And John, I think the sun's trying to come out here.
Well, I'll tell you, in a half an hour, this weather has really turned around. In the 3rd inning, it looked like that we were going to get some, at least a shower of some sort. It really got dark and now brightening up considerably. Not much of a lead there by Sock at first. Pitch tails in on the batter. And the count is 1-1.
Good job by Colgan to lay off that, too. You mentioned, John, that was inside. It was also high.
Sock has only attempted 1 steal this year. It was not successful. There's the big curveball in there for a strike, and it is 1-2.
Colgan not happy with that last pitch.
East Stroudsburg playing this batter straight away again, but not quite as deep as they've been playing File and Good. Tried that same curve again, high, and the count is now even at 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 5th, deadlocked at 1. Home runs have been the order of the day. Home run for A.J. Batillo for East Stroudsburg. And tying the ball game up, Matt Scully for the Textile Rams, and that's where we are. High again as he's come the same location, Dan, with that pitch 3 times in a row.
Now with the full count, do you have your runner at first, Jeff Sock, running on this pitch?
I wouldn't, not with a catcher. Good question, but I don't think so. I think you want to play it safe here because base runners have been at a premium, and you've got a slow-moving catcher.
Colgan struck out last time.
And we were right, he wasn't moving as the foul goes back to the screen right in front of us. And Dan, that's the kind what I meant where the color guy sort of jumps over and protects the play-by-play guy. So let's see your move to the left here a little bit better next time.
That was right at me. I thought that was coming right back at me.
Ball punched out to right field, and Matt Cannon has the room, makes the catch, and Sock quickly retreats to first base, and there is 1 down. Peter DiDonato now, the second baseman, comes to the plate. He grounded out to second base his first time. Again, we point out, as we do on each of our college telecasts, that aluminum bats are used, and the reason for it is strictly financial. You know, I'm not going to break an aluminum bat, although we've seen 2 break this year, which is, again, rare but not unusual, and certainly saves the school some money. However, as that pitch is high for a ball, scouts don't like that, Dan, because they can't get a good judge on what the players can do because the ball really jumps off that aluminum stick.
DiDonato, a 5'8" senior from Lincoln High School in Philadelphia, now batting.
Swinging a ground ball down to short, picked up there by Vidalis. Second 1, throw to first, in time. Score that a 6-4-3 double play, and Ertel, after some early inning difficulties, gets out of it. A run, 2 hits, nobody left on. There's your numbers through 5.
last inning. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, and that's Joe Vidala over to John Quick at second. On to John Stevenson, a 6-4-3 twin killing. And after 5, we are tied at 1 as the Rams of Philadelphia Textile come up with their first 2 hits in that inning. The very first one, a home run. So each team has exchanged a home run. The Warriors of East Stroudsburg got a home run from A.J. Matillo in the first inning, and then Matt Scully tying the score with a single home run in the 5th inning for Philadelphia Textile.
And here's A.J. Matillo, who hit that home run in the first inning, then got an infield single. Swing a ball popped high in the air. Third baseman File under and makes the catch, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Matillo out of there, and since coming on to relieve Craig Gribben, Mike Christie has now retired 4 batters in a row. 1 on a ground ball, 1 on a strikeout, 1 on a fly ball, and now a pop-up.
Shortstop, Joe Vidala.
Joe Vidala, the batter who grounded to short and was intentionally walked in that potentially very dangerous 3rd inning that East Stroudsburg put together after 2 were out. And if you look back at that inning, Dan, what a big play it was for Yanoka to be punched out at first base as a foul ball's hit over on the near side. Matt Yanoka rounding first base, going too far, and ever alert in right field James McGee and throwing the runner out at first base. And after that, all kinds of trouble developed. There you see some of the crowd gathered here this afternoon. Now there's a loose ball on the field as that ball retrieved by a fan got by the dugout.
Who are those 2 unseemly characters behind the batting cage?
I have no idea who they are.
Vidala has shown some great hands at shortstop this afternoon. He already has 5 assists, and he started that double play that ended the 5th inning.
Ball sails over the head of Vidala there, and now we'll wait for the ball to be retrieved. 1-1 the count. Swing a chopper back to the mound. Christie has it, make the play himself in time, and 5 up, 5 down since Christie's taken over mound chores. Now John Stevenson, the cleanup hitter who singled in the first inning, was cut down trying to go from first to second, trying to stretch it to a double, and then was struck out by Gribben in the 3rd inning on a real clutch piece of pitching, Dan.
That was probably Gribben's finest piece of pitching this year.
Ground ball, deep stop by Balser, throw to first, not in time as it pulled the first baseman off the bag, and that'll be a base hit as that was a tough play at shortstop for Jesse Balser, and Stevenson picks up his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Yeah, even if this is a perfect throw, they don't come up and watch. There's the throw. It's a little high, but you see that Stevenson is already by the bag. That's John's 2nd hit. He has 2 hits today for East Stroudsburg. A.J. Matillo has 2, and the 5th hit is by the center fielder Matt Yanoka.
All right, Justin Ertel, the batter now. He's pitching a fine game this afternoon, 0 for 2 at the bat, and he was robbed on a great play by Balser. There's the ball, but skips away from the catcher, and down to second base goes Stevenson.
So that'll be a wild pitch that allows Stevenson. Stevenson didn't break until that ball got away from the catcher, Jeff Sock.
Looked like he might have been crossed up there, too, if you noticed that Sock was really surprised when that ball dipped at the last second. Good pitch on the outside corner, and the count is now even at 1-1.
And the Warriors have the lead run in scoring position, top of the 6th inning. Textile and Stroudsburg tied at 1.
Pitch low, good stop there by Sock, 2-1. We've been playing baseball at East Stroudsburg since 1894, and no, you and I did not call that first game together. That's one of the few, I think, in this century that we haven't been working one way or the other in the Philadelphia area. Just missed high, thinking about swinging it. That was Ertel.
You know, you talked about being working so many sports for all these years. That's a 3-1 count. I think between us, John, we did over about 500 events last year.
Yep. Swing a drive into left field, right field. The ball is knocked down there by the right fielder. And that's going to, they say the ball was trapped by the right fielder,
Yes.
James McGee. So that's a RBI single for Justin Hertel as he hit that ball into right field, and Stevenson comes around to score, and you see where that wild pitch hurt.
Well, you'll see it here.
Number 14,
Hertel, who's now
left fielder
pitching and batting
Hoey.
his team into the lead, knocks in the lead run. Justin is now 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI, but more importantly, in 5 innings of pitching, he's given up only 2 hits and 1 run.
Mike Hoey, the batter, who's grounded out to third twice. Yeah, you're right about that 500. I know I did 264 different ones last year, and you know, people say, don't you ever get tired of it? And the answer is no. You miss the time away from the family, as you and I both know. We both have special conditions with the families. The ball is inside, but you end up getting an opportunity to make a living doing it and have a little fun, a few laughs, and meet some good people.
Yes, you do. John, you and I are so fortunate to, have the opportunity to be in this profession, I feel.
Drive into left field. That's going to head for the gap. Coming over to cut it off is Martaccio. Rounding second, heading for third is Hertel, and he's going to hold there. Throw to second. They've got the runner hung up. Now they've got to watch the runner at third. Nobody covering first. Here comes the runner to the plate. He is safe. As Stroudsburg and Justin Hertel in particular waited, and the Rams sort of got crossed up there, Dan. Nobody was covering first base. The throw to the plate was high. The catcher's sock had to come down to make the tag just a little late.
Let's look at the replay. Also, DiDonato may have held on to this ball a little bit too long. You see the ball in the left center. Now Martaccio comes up with it in a hurry, and the relay back to DiDonato, and he runs it back. Now he probably should have thrown, a couple of steps earlier, and they might have had him, but he was waiting to see what would happen and whether Hertel would make a break for the plate, which Justin did, and he scored.
There's a swing and a ground ball to third. File has it. Throw to second in time on the force play, and that retires Hoey, the runner. But some major damage by East Stroudsburg. They come up with a pair of runs. They got 3 hits in the inning, and they left 1 runner on base. And after 5 1/2, there's your numbers. Now, there'll be no RBI on that play. And Hertel doing some really heads-up base running, and some good heads-up base running by Hoey, because he looked and sort of head back to first base. When he saw there was nobody covering first base, he slowed down a little bit, which gave Hertel the opportunity to hit for home. And again, you're right, and the throw was a little high, too. Had Sock gotten that ball, I think, Dan, waist high, he might have been able to put the tag on Hertel coming in.
And if he had gotten it sooner, Sock did all that he could from the catcher's position. He tried to block the plate, but he got the ball just a little bit late. And I don't think you should so much blame DiDonato or Sock there as credit East Stroudsburg University for a nifty piece of base running.
Well, they sure did, and in particular Hertel, too, because, that's the type of a situation where if you take off and you run and you're out, you've taken your team out of an inning, and in a close ball game, that's the last thing you want to do. So, interesting play there, and East Stroudsburg took advantage of that. And in particular, as you see Mike Christie, the pitcher there, with his arm covered up, setting back to the bench. And now Hertel's given himself some breathing room here, Dan.
Well, he has. And Justin, once again, having only pitched a total of 14 innings on the season coming into this afternoon's action, has in 5 innings today allowed only 2 hits and 1 run as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Now, Textile tied it last inning, and they got their first 2 hits in the game off of Justin Hertel, and let's see now if they seem to have found a groove against the East Stroudsburg starter.
All right, Marty Good, the hitter, who walked and was forced out. Hertel on the mound for his 6th inning of work. Swing and a miss for a strike, and Hertel really helped himself last inning, not only with the bat, but also with some heads-up base running.
We talked about him coming home and maybe having some extra incentive, and he's played very, very well today.
Swing and the strike. The count is 1-1. Scoreboard has 2-0, but it's 1-1. I do believe.
I thought it was 0-2.
Well, we'll see in a minute here. Swinging a high pop foul. That's 2 strikes for sure as it rolls up on the hill. Now his dad, Jim Ertel, as we speak, is on a bus heading for Olean, New York. The Hawks play St. Bonaventure in a 3-game set, which is a very crucial set for them as far as the Hawks getting into the A10 tournament. Bonaventure just ahead of them in the standings.
Speaking of the Hawks, John, I was at the end-of-year awards banquet for the St. Joseph's women's team, and Stephanie Gately's Lady Hawks won the Philadelphia Big Five championship for the 6th straight season this year.
They've done a great job out there. Drive is going to find a hole in the gap, rolls all the way to the bottom of the fence, picked up there by Yanoka in center field, and into second base. Standing up with a double is Marty Good, and that's a good way for the Rams to start off the 6th inning as they bounce right back. Marty Good with the 2-base hit.
Here it comes to right center.
Number 24, center fielder, Steve Martaccio.
And getting over there, Matt Yanoka running it down and holding Good to a double.
Second double of the year for Good. Just his second extra base hit of the season. And Steve Martaccio, who is 0 for 2, but made a great play in center field a couple of innings ago on a ball hit by John Quick. Now a mound conversation between Mike Pappas and Justin Ertel.
That great catch ended the 5th inning. Martaccio robbed Quick about 375 feet away from the plate in deep right center field.
Not paying much attention to the runner. Good at second, either the fielders or the pitcher, and maybe Good just might think about that a little bit. They made absolutely no look at him over there. We'll see if they look at him now, and the fielders just seem to be oblivious to him.
Marty does not have a stolen base on the season.
Now Ertel checks him now. Must have heard us, checks him twice, comes to the plate, right across the knees for a strike. You know, it always has really befuddled me, and we see this a lot of times in Class A, where lots of times the pitchers will not even look at the runners on base. I just have never understood that, Dan. Which there's a few Major League pitchers have done that too. Ball inside, and it's 2-1. Of course, I guess you're happy now, Dan. Finally, you're going to get to call some Major League Baseball at Veterans Stadium.
Well, we missed 21 home games last year, and missing about 9 this year.
High, 3-1. And see, a lot of people don't realize that those of us who are involved in that, when there's things like that, I mean, it's literally taking dollars out of your pocket, and you know, it causes you to look for other forms of employment.
Yes, that's a disappointment, but God, the Phillies have been so good to me. You know, it's just one of those things.
Ball 4, and Martaccio walks, and the first 2 runners on base here, and Ertel's got himself into a little bit of trouble, and this is kind of the way the 5th inning started out too for Ertel, Dan. He gave up a home run to Matt Scully, and then Jeff Sock got a single, but a fly ball and a double play got him out of trouble. Now Jesse Balser, the batter, who's grounded out to short twice on the afternoon. He's got 11 RBIs of his 27 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Started the day hitting at .214. Runners at first and second.
And they represent the tying runs.
Now some movement on the bases there as behind the pitcher. Balser might have caught out of the corner of his eye. The runner Good, and the shortstop Joe Vidala coming over there, Dan, and just might have disturbed him enough where he stepped out of the box.
Boy, Vidala is impressive. If Justin can continue to keep the ball on the ground.
There's the bunt, and Ertel has it. Goes to third base in time for the force. Good play there, and I'll tell you, Ertel had the presence of mind there, Dan, on that force play. 1-5 if you're scoring along with us to get that lead runner. Good heads-up play by Ertel.
And give Utillo credit for getting back to cover, because sometimes the third baseman will come in to field that bunt, but A.J. got back.
Good point.
And that allowed them to get the force out at third base.
James McGee, the batter, who's been hit with a pitch and grounded out to shortstop. First and second, 1 out. And there's the ball that sails in again on McGee and hits him, and he's hit for the 2nd time in the game. And I think
Ertel is staring him down. He, again, Jim made no attempt to get out of the way of that pitch. Another breaking ball high and inside. Jim took one for the club, as they say. Here it is.
He's smiling at the bench there. He's been hit at the same spot twice, and there'll be no black and blue mark, I can guarantee, in the morning.
Dave Hollins.
That's exactly right.
Here's Bob File, your cleanup hitter with the bases loaded. What more could you want?
Not much more with a big kid like File in there. Swinging a ground ball down to second base. Flip to short for one. Throw to first. Safe at first, boy. Throw to the plate as good heads up running by Balser as he comes around to score.
Yes, Jesse Balser getting around there, and McGee was retired on the force out there. Throws it late to try to double up File. Late throw, can't get File, and we are again tied at 3.
And Balser coming around to score from second. Great play, you're absolutely right. All right, Matt Scully now, who hit a home run to account for the first run. And, boy, there's been some heads-up base running on both sides.
Well, you know, Balser, who didn't make a good bunt in attempting to sacrifice the runners over to second and third, makes up for it with great base running there to tie the score.
When was the last time you saw 2 runners score on a fielder's choice? Scoring question now is, does he get 2 RBIs for that?
No.
He would get 1, though, wouldn't he? Well, I guess he wouldn't either, because actually it's a double place. No, he would have to give him 1.
He would get that.
We have to give him 1. All right, the count is 2-0. Pitch to the plate, high. Ball 3, no strikes, and now Ertel having a little difficulty finding the plate with Scully. So give File 1 RBI, which would bring Martaccio across the plate, and the heads-up running by, as ball 4 is low and outside, and runners on at first and second. 2 outs in the inning, and Jeff Sock, the catcher, who's 1 for 2, comes to the plate.
Jeff Sock.
No activity in the East Stroudsburg bullpen, and we do remind you that they have played 2 doubleheaders this week. They played a doubleheader Tuesday with Shippensburg, played a doubleheader yesterday with Mansfield, so they've got to be a little short in the pitching department, and they do not have a large roster either. Only 21 players on their roster. All right, runners on at first and second. Robert File down at second with a big lead. Over at first base is Matt Scully. We're tied here, and Ertel, after breezing through innings 1 through 4, struggled a little in inning 5 and has struggled here mightily in inning 6, and some good base running, in particular by Balser. There's a swing and a foul, and ball comes back to the screen.
I think this is a case where Justin is tiring, and if East Stroudsburg had fresh pitchers at their disposal, John, we might have seen a relief pitcher by this time.
Once again, the outfielders playing straight away. This team swing and a miss, strike 2. They play just about everybody straight away. These 2 teams were supposed to play here yesterday, at East Stroudsburg yesterday, but because of the makeup that they had to play with Mansfield, that game was postponed. These 2 teams met last year twice, and Textile won both of them. Good stop on the backhand by the catcher Pappas there, as the count is now 2-2. This spring has been almost virtually rain-free the last 2 springs, and we felt the sting here on Channel 66 with so much rain and even snow. But there are very few cancellations this year. Ball just inside, and now the count goes full at 3-2. 2 out, 2 on. Runners moving on this one, Dan.
And the score is tied at 3.
Tell seems a little bit this inning like he's trying to aim the ball rather than pitch, and that is a sign of being tired. Swinging a fly ball out to left field. Late start on it by Hoey, but he's able to track it down and makes the catch, and I think he lost that ball momentarily. But 2 runs score in the inning for the Textile Rams, and they did it on just 1 base hit. 2 runners left on. There's the numbers after 6. And the young ladies of the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams watching their baseball team tied up in a 3-3 tie here going into the 7th inning. I'm John McAdams along with Dan Baker. Happy you're with us this afternoon for college baseball here on Channel 66 as Matt Yanoka comes to the plate. And on the mound is Mike Christie, his 3rd inning in relief of Craig Griven. Swinging a ground ball to short. Balser off his chest and off his glove, and that will be an error. And leading off the inning is Matt Yanoka, and he's on at first base with a potential go-ahead run. And for Jesse Balser, his 2nd error of the afternoon.
Here's a look at that. And a little bit of a bad hop.
Number 26, playing right field, Matt
Jesse still should have made the play, and it's an error on him that allows Yanoka to lead off the 7th, and he is over at first base for East Stroudsburg.
Matt Cannon, the batter, looking for his 1st hit of the season. Once again, we've mentioned this many times. Well, I've mentioned it many times. I'm going to mention it again. And we're very proud of this here at Channel 66 and Wade Cable, as showing the bunt is Cannon, and that's in there for a strike. Once again, for the 4th straight year, Wade Cablevision, Channel 66, has been nominated for a local cable ACE award. And this happened about a month ago, and 4th straight year we've been nominated. We won an award in 1992, and Steve Friedman has told us that the awards will be handed out in about 2 weeks, and we're all very, very proud. And I think all of the people who have worked with us on the telecasts all could be a part of that. And kudos to our guys. And
that's terrific.
And Steve knows I mean this. Congratulations, Steve.
0-2 the count, no outs.
Ground ball to short. Balser backs up, has it, goes to second, 1 to first. Not going to be in time, as really DiDonato was all out, and I'm surprised he was able to get that throw away.
And Jesse shows me something. You know, he didn't have a particularly good bunt, but he made the great base running play to tie the score. Look, I knows that he was going to get a high hop, but he stayed back on it, got the easy force out over to DiDonato, and so they retire the lead runner. But Cannon is at first base after the fielder's choice.
John Quick, who's 0 for 3, but a great play in center field by Martaccio to end the 5th inning, robbed him of a base hit. Steve Friedman, our producer, has told us that if they win the award this year, he's going to take us all out for a very sumptuous and expensive dinner on him. Ball's inside, and
hey, Steve doesn't even have to wait for the award. He was thinking of doing that tonight.
Oh, was he? Oh, that's fine. We can live with that.
You can see those 2 guys there don't need any extra food, do they?
Oh, they sure don't. Ground ball to 3rd. File has it on the short hop, goes to 2nd. Good stop there by DiDonato, as he had to trap that ball and have the on-sliding Cannon on him. And I'll tell you, DiDonato has come up with a couple of nice plays in this inning.
Yes, he has. You'll see as Bob File comes up with this ball there, the ball takes a skip. But DiDonato effectively blocks it. Not only does he block it, but he catches it, which he had to do to get the force out.
A.J. Matillo, the batter, he's 2 for 3, including a home run. He's got a stolen base. He's made a nice play at 3rd base, too. There goes the runner. Throw by Sock is in time. Good throw by Sock, and even though the error to start out the inning, and these Textile Rams have really thrown some leather at East Stroudsburg this afternoon.
Here's a look at the caught stealing. Good pitch to handle, the throw, and a good tag down there. That was Jesse Balser that took the throw.
Exactly right.
The shortstop, and who put the quick tag on John Quick. But some good middle infield play by shortstop Jesse Balser and second baseman Pete DiDonato for Philadelphia Textile. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th, East Stroudsburg, I think you might want to put a U there.
Yeah, that's right.
Third letter from the end. East Stroudsburg and Philadelphia Textile are tied at 3.
There's Jesse. And umpire Jack DeBachian. Very interesting ball game here this afternoon as these two teams have really gone at each other hammer and tong, and some great fielding plays, a couple of home runs, some good pitching performance, and Justin Ertel heads out there for the 7th inning of work as Ed Colgan, Pete DiDonato, and Marty Good will be the hitters.
Well, this part of the order has been helpful today. Marty Good has been on base twice with a walk and a double.
Ball on the inside for a ball. 1-0. A little overcast now here again. It's been a kind of a strange day, but the rains have held off, thank goodness. We've got a good one going here. Ground ball foul, and you see Don Flynn going to chase that one down all the way over near the fence there. Again, a win today will surpass the win total that the Rams had last year, had 17. A win today would give them 18 on the season. Rams, of course, as we mentioned earlier, playing in the New York Collegiate Athletic Association, where on the other end of the coin, East Stroudsburg, a member of the PSAC, or the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
And they refused admission to the knapsack. But 3 balls and 1 strike now as Ed Colgan leads off the bottom of the 7th as we have a little fun this Friday afternoon in the East Falls section of Philadelphia on the campus of Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science at Schoolhouse Lane and Henry Avenue.
Division II championships once again will be held in Montgomery, Alabama in early June. 32 teams qualify for the Division II championships. Here's a little bit of trivia for you after this next pitch, Dan, that player you're familiar with. As Ertel comes to the plate high, ball 4, and Colgan draws a walk, and that is the 3rd, make that the 4th walk allowed by Justin Ertel. And the leadoff runner on base here in the 7th, and Peter DiDonato comes to the plate. Let's see if Don Flynn plays it safe and bunts. The winner, now looks like we're going to get a runner here at first base. Okay.
Bill Robinson, who I heard?
Right, Bill Robinson will run at first base for Edward Colgan. So this even lends more credence to the fact that they may try to bunt Robinson now over to second base.
And DiDonato grounded into a 6-4-3 double play last time. Good bunt.
Gets it down. One play to first in time, and the speedy Robinson gets to second in one big hurry. Nice play there. And Don Flynn, using the speed of the runner Robinson and the good bunting by DiDonato for that sacrifice.
You see DiDonato dead in that ball?
Sure did. That's the way you do it, Dan. Just beat it right into the ground.
Now Marty Good, who doubled last time up, has a chance to knock in the lead run as Robinson is at second with 1 out. Marty Good's the batter.
You know, the other thing with that aluminum bat, Dan, it makes it even tougher to deaden that ball because you got to make sure you get into the dirt, not onto the grass, because that ball will roll. 1
out, 1 strike. Marty Good, the batter, and Bill Robinson, second base.
Swinging a ground ball down to short. Good backhanded stop there by Vidal. Throw to first in time. Boy, what a great play as he went into the hole there. And he has really shown us some shortstop there today, Joe Vidal.
And that was a nice scoop by Stevenson. Watch this good play at both ends. There's Vidal. The throw a little low, but scooping it out is John Stevenson, scooping it out of the dirt.
Now it's up to Steve Martaccio, who has flied to left, got on a forced play, and walked. First pitch, right across the plate for a strike. I told you that little trivia. Back in 1977, the MVP of the Division II College World Series, guy that you know, Joe LaFay, who played some time with the Phillies, also was a coach at Reading for a while. Ground ball down to short. Another chance there for Vidal. Got to hurry. Throw to first. Goes by the first baseman. Here comes Robinson as he scores with the go-ahead run. And on the overthrow down to second base goes Steve Martaccio. And the Rams lead here for the first time in the ball game, 4-3.
And isn't this ironic, because Joe Vidal has been exceptional at shortstop, but this throw is low. Stevenson can't pull it in. And coming all the way around from second is Bill Robinson, Philadelphia Textile 4, East Stroudsburg University 3.
That'll be a knee 6, and he goes to second on the overthrow. No RBI. And you saw on that replay as Vidal picked that ball up, it looked like he was handcuffed there. Now looks like a loose ball out of the bullpen. And waiting for second baseman John Quick to track that down, and he does. All right, here we go. Jesse Balser, the batter. 2 ground outs and was safe on a fielder's choice and came around to score on one of the real heads-up plays of the day on a double play ball. The throw to first base was late, and Balser was on at second base and came all the way around to score.
Justin Ertel has gone all the way for East Stroudsburg now in his 7th inning of work.
Swing and a miss, and nobody warming up down in that left field bullpen. Now the Textile has someone up, it appears, in their pen. We can't see up that hill. I count as 1-1.
Craig Gribbon started today for Philadelphia Textile, and he was replaced by Mike Christie.
That's high. And it is 2-1. Boy, if they could get this run home, an insurance run here, this would be a large, large run for the Rams. And what has been a very interesting baseball game. This low. Now we go 3-1. The on-deck hitter is James McGee, and now you're getting into the heart of the Rams lineup now.
And McGee represents an interesting situation at the plate today. He's been hit by a pitch twice.
Little chopper foul, and Don Flynn will scoop that up, showing the good hands.
You almost wonder if East Stroudsburg was in front and there was nobody on, 2 outs. If Justin might want to come inside with a fastball as a warning for Jim's taking a curveball twice to get on base.
Go to third.
He got in there.
And ball 4. Balser takes the walk. So give Martaccio the stolen base, stealing third. And the walk to Balser, that is the 5th walk, and walks have just really plagued Ertel in the last 2 innings, as he walked 2 in the 4th, or I'll make that 2 in the 6th, and now here 2 in the 7th.
Yeah, I think that just shows fatigue. He's got, of the 5 walks to which you referred, John, 4 of them in the last 2 innings.
The other thing, too, keeping in mind with Ertel, and just a freshman making that transition from high school ball to college ball as far as pitching, he has only pitched a total of 14 innings in his other 3 outings, and here he's gone 7 in this one, so this is by far the longest he's gone. All right, runners on the corners, and a chance now for the Rams to open some daylight. There's the ball, skips right by the catcher. Pappas comes right to the screen, and a run scores. Here goes the runner to third. It's trying to take that extra base is Balser, and he's in there.
Well, Balser shows me something with his base running skills.
That'll be a wild pitch as Martaccio scores, and once again, Balser, ever alert, goes from first to third on the wild pitch.
See, it's low and outside, and Pappas can't get over, and there's Balser going from first to third.
Danny, you saw there was no hesitation when he rounded that second base bag. He had the presence of mind to see where the ball was and just kept coming.
Well, I think he knew too, John, that they would be paying more attention to Martaccio, and fearing that the runner's scoring, and probably it would divert their attention from Balser, who was over at first, and moving down to second.
Textile has 5 runs now as they lead at 5-3, only 2 RBIs on the day. There's a little punch into center field. Backing up now is the center fielder Yanoka, and he makes the catch, but more damage done here by the Rams in the 8th inning. They played 2 more runs and do it without the benefit of a base hit. They leave one on. There's the score, through 7. Now for the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams, and also Tom Henry will come into the game, and he will play in left field, and Tom will bat in the 7th position.
Tom is a 5'11" junior out of Germantown Academy. He's a Philadelphia resident. Meanwhile, Joe Olivo is from Delran, New Jersey. He went to Delran High School. That's where the Sackers went, didn't they, John?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Mike Christie, a good 3 innings in relief. And right now stands to come out of here with a W if the Rams can hang on. In his 3 innings, he gave up 3 hits and gave up 2 runs. Along the way, he struck out 1 and walked nobody and threw a wild pitch.
The first pitch is a ball. Joe Olivo has 3 wins and 2 losses on the year. He's pitched 34 innings, allowed 48 hits, 41 runs, 22 earned. He has a .582 earned run average.
All right, A.J. Matillo, ground ball to short. Balser, throw to first in time, and there's 1 down in the inning. And Joe Vidala, the shortstop, now comes to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with an intentional walk thrown in.
Shortstop.
Very
number 5,
aggressive base running here this
Vidala.
afternoon by the Rams. Dan, have gone a long way to help them in this ball game.
And I think that's our storyline, John, if the Rams win it.
Looks like Olivo does not throwing that ball up there real hard, but is able to cut the corners. 5-3, Textile in front. Ball beaten foul off the ground and off catcher's sock.
Said 5-3. I thought you were referring to Joe, the pitcher. I thought he's shorter than I thought. he's ahead here, 0-2.
He's come in and looked good, getting Matillo, and who cracked that home run early.
And here's Joe Vidal at the plate. You can see he's 0 for 2 with a walk. That was an intentional walk.
Ground ball to short again. Balser has it on the big hop. Throw to first. High throw by first base. And that's going to send Vidala down to second base. So that'll be an error on Jesse Balser. And that is his 3rd error of the afternoon. And that is the 4th error by the Rams. And Vidala now moves down to second base. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, John Stevenson, to the plate, who is 2 for 3.
First baseman, John
A pair of
Stevenson.
singles and a struck out, has come around to score a run, and was also thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double back in the 1st inning. Dismisses outside. Here's where that extra run and the aggressive base running by Martaccio, stealing 3rd on that walk to Balser, really comes into play here, Danny.
Well, East Stroudsburg, of course, would like to tie this game up.
Ground ball to 3rd. File looks to second, throws across the infield for the out. Nice play there by File, as not only did he make the play, but also, Dan, you'll notice he took a real good look at Vidal at second.
Justin Ertel coming to the plate now, had a base hit in
Number
his last
21,
at bat, and
pitcher, Justin
with that
Ertel.
hit, he momentarily restored the lead for East Stroudsburg. So Justin has done a nice job pitching this afternoon, even though he trails right now 5-3, runner at second, 2 outs.
Has the chance to help himself. There's the ball, bounces in the dirt. Good stop there by Sock. And again, we talked earlier about the importance of the catcher being able to see the ball and keeping it in front of him, and Sock was able to do that.
Yes, sometimes even when you set up to block a pitch, when the breaking ball has a lot of spin on it, it can get away from you. But you certainly improve your chances of keeping the ball in front of you when you kind of get down and let it bounce off that chest protector.
There's a drive to right field. That's going to, looks like it's going to stay fair, and nope, tails off foul. That ball died, and you see the way the wind is blowing that the flag there, and that just may have blown that ball just enough over into foul territory.
We'll take a look at it here, and you can see that it's a long run for Jim McGee. And fortunately for Jim and the Rams, it's a foul ball.
And not
off the
foul
bat
by
of
much
Justin
either.
Ertel.
1-1. That ball was not fouled by much. You know, the competition here, Dan, in this game this afternoon, keeping in mind these are not two league opponents, really, these two teams have really battled each other.
Yes, and that's made for a very fun and enjoyable baseball telecast. We hope you're enjoying it.
Drive into the gap. That's going to find a room. No, but coming over and cutting it off is McGee with good speed in right field. And he makes the play, and the Warriors go down. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left on, 7.5. And the Rams of Philadelphia Textile lead it by a pair. There's the arithmetic, 5-3, and strange numbers there. If you look at the Textile line, 5 runs, just 3 hits, and 4 errors. Now, Dan, we'll talk a little bit about that 3 hits. They have taken advantage of walks and other things and becoming aggressive on the base paths to make up for the lack of hitting today.
Well, you see McGee there, 36. He's been hit by a pitch twice. So that comes in that category of other things, John, that goes along with the walks. And Textile's 3 hits. The first hit today was Matt Scully's home run leading off the 5th. Then right behind him, Jeff Sock singled. And then Marty Good doubled leading off the 6th. Textile, after being shut out by Justin Ertel in the first 4 innings, has plated 1 run in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th to take a 5-3 lead. East Stroudsburg scored on a first inning home run by A.J. Matillo. They scored 2 more runs in the top of the 6th on 3 hits. And that accounts for the Warriors' 3 runs. It is 5-3. The Rams of Textile leading the Warriors of East Stroudsburg. As
that's JR out in center field. No dancing out there, JR. Come on.
Yeah, but he's up on a perch there. He's got to worry about shaking that platform and falling off.
JR can do that.
Third baseman.
Our cameramen are getting more time than we are here. I don't know about this.
Well, they should. They get paid more.
Well, there we go on top of the truck. Smiles. Anybody else want to get on camera?
No wonder that Wade's going to win this award.
All the cameramen swing a fly ball to center field.
And they vote. You know.
Inoka back as Unruh makes the play. You know, here's another unusual thing about this game. The last 2 innings, Textile has scored 4 runs, Dan. They have done it on just 1 hit. And that was a leadoff double by Marty Good. In between there, however, there's been a hit batsman, and there have been 1 error. And there's Bruce. Well, I'll tell you, these cameramen...
Actually, it wasn't Bruce that I think Steve was trying to show that last time.
Oh, okay. Well, who's those 2 guys?
So who was sneaking into the picture?
Who's those 2 guys? High pop-up out behind second base. John Quick calls everyone else off and makes the grab for the 2nd out. But you look at that particular situation, 4 runs on only 1 hit. They have transformed 4 walks, an error, and a hit batsman, and some very aggressive base running.
It's smart baseball. You know, and if you're not getting the hits, well, you have to make do in some other manner.
And they have done that. All right, Jeff Sock, who is 1 for 3. Ball pops out of the glove of catcher Pappas. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, Mike Hoey, Mike Pappas, and Matt Yanoka, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, will be due for East Stroudsburg.
The lower part of the batting order, so things are looking up for Philadelphia Textile.
Good pitch right across the knees. Of those 3 batters due up, they are a combined 2 for 9. Ball tails inside, and it is now 2 and 1. Look at Justin Ertel, and I'll tell you, the ride back to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, I think he'll have no trouble getting some sleep on the bus, as he's gone the entire distance today. And
he's only allowed 3 hits.
And has been running around on the bases quite a bit. Drive to center field, backing up is Yanoka back near the screen, and he makes the play. And you saw out there with that little dip in the ground, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ertel, No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the ninth. Textile in front by 2. And we are back. Ninth inning approaching as the Textile Rams lead by 2. There you see our umpires. On the left, Bob Krasinski. On the right, home plate umpire Jack Dabajian. They've done a good job here this afternoon, and we've really had an interesting ball game here. And kind of glad, Dan, because as we said before, 24 years you and I working together, and we get a good ball game. Was kind of I'm kind of glad. It's been interesting, and still 3 outs to go for Joseph Olivo, and he's got the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up, so a bit of a break there. Mike Hoey will lead it off. He's grounded to third twice and got a base hit.
That single
14,
was in the 6th inning when the Warriors bunched 3 of their hits and scored 2 runs.
Now, do you wonder here if the head coach, Roger Barron, has his players looking a little bit, waiting for a strike? Well, we're going to find out quick, because there's a quick strike, and kind of a disgusted look on the face of Hoey. He did not think that was a strike. Joseph Olivo on the mound, looking to record the save. Mike Christie looking to get the win. Good pitch, pull the string on that 0-2. And boy, that's the way you like to see your pitcher get out there very quickly and jumps ahead of the first batter. 0-2.
And Justin Ertel, Northeast Philadelphia product, could end up as a tough luck loser here, giving up only 3 hits but 5 runs for East Stroudsburg today.
All right, ball is outside, 1-2. John Stevenson loosening up now. He may, if we go to the 9th inning, come in and pitch. Ball swung on and hit over our heads and racking off a car back there. Dan, I think that was yours.
No, I parked over by Old House Hall. I'm way down there. I got a little exercise getting up here today.
All right, 1-2 the count. Excuse me, swing, and it tips right back to the screen in front of us. For count remains at 1-2. Trailing that ball down was Mike Christie, who has an opportunity to win this ball game this afternoon for the Rams. Would be win number 5 on the season if he could get it. Swing and a miss. He got him on the outside pitch, and that's the first strikeout for Olivo. 1 down.
Now playing left field for the Rams, number 22.
And now Mike Pappas, the batter, who is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out,
Batting for East Stroudsburg, number
and
7, the catcher.
a fielder's choice.
And Mike, a good defensive catcher.
Like a little guy for a catcher, just 5'9", 170, out of East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Notre Dame High School. And that ball hit him. He just tried to get away from that pitch and just kind of grazed him, it appeared. And so now we have the first hit batter by a Rams pitcher. And let's watch this again, Dan. And
Joe didn't want to do this.
well, that just grazed him. Boy, you got that right. Because now what you do is you bring the tying run to the plate, and Matt Yanoka, who's been on 2 of the 3 times by singling, grounding out, and getting on an error. And when he singled to right field in the 3rd, he made the big turn around first base, and alertly in right field, James McGee throwing the ball back to first baseman Marty Good to get him. All right, count is 1-0. Right across the plate for a strike, 1-1, and
Right, looked a little high, and I think Yanoka thought it was high.
well, there was a little displeasure on the face of Hoey on the first pitch, if you recall, Dan. That pitch that was called a strike on the first pitch of the inning. And
Once again, you can complain about an isolated pitch here or there, but the men in blue have done a good job here.
strike 2, 1-2. Yeah, the Blue have, you know, when I've always said, when you don't recognize the guys in blue, that's when they're doing their best job. And these 2 guys are veterans, and they've done that today.
I agree with your analysis 100%.
That backs the batter off at 2-2, and the on-deck circle with a bat over there. Looks like we may get a pinch hitter, as Joe Logue has a bat over there, a left-handed batter, so we may be looking at a change here. Swing and a miss. He got him, and that's the 2nd out of the inning, and we are going to get a hitter. This will be Joe Logue, is going to bat for Matt Cannon. And it'll be Joe Logue,
The last
the
hope.
batter, hitting a .224. Logue is a first baseman, hits out of the left-hand side.
Now batting, Joe Logue.
All right, Joe steps in there now and swings at a pitch. Kind of golfed that pitch as the ball broke in hard on him on the inside. Logue is a freshman out of Hamilton West High School in Trenton, New Jersey.
So really kind of another area product.
Yeah, they've got 8 of them on this team, as I mentioned earlier. Joe has 2 RBIs on the season, also has 3 doubles. Big chance for him here to be a hero. On the outside corner, strike 2, and Olivo really painted that outside corner on that one.
Perfect pitch by Olivo right there. Boy, a good fastball and away from the batter on the outside edge of the plate.
All right, 0-2 the count. Pappas with a short lead at first. They come to the plate. Swing and a miss. He got him. And striking the side out here in the 9th inning was Joseph Olivo to pick up the save as the Philadelphia Textile Rams win this ball game by a score of 5-3. In the 9th inning, no runs, no hits, 1 left on. There are your final totals. The Rams 5 runs, just 3 hits, 4 errors, and the Rams left a total of 4 runners on base. East Stroudsburg 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and they stranded 6 during the course of the game. Justin Ertel, literally a hard luck loser, pitched well enough to win most games. As you see the teams congratulating one another, he is now 0-4 on the season. Mike Christie picks up the win in relief. He is 5-6, and the save goes to Joe Olivo, and that is his first save of the season. And Dan, a very interesting baseball game as you see the final numbers up there.
Joe strikes out the side in the 9th inning. I mean, that's the way to pick up a save. And Philadelphia Textile winning impressively. You mentioned, John, throughout that it was a hard-fought game, closely contested by 2 teams who played very good baseball this afternoon. Textile making the most of its just 3 hits of Justin Ertel. Justin pitched only 14 innings on the season before today's game. We mentioned that his dad is over at St. Joseph's, the pitching coach, and he is out of Northeast High School. He comes in today and pitches very, very well, but in a losing cause for East Stroudsburg, as Justin gives up only 3 hits over 8 innings. But thanks to some
there is Ertel right there on your screen.
Philadelphia Textile comes up with 5 runs on the day, and that's enough to win it as Textile defeats the East Stroudsburg Warriors by a score of 5-3.
Now with this win, the 18th win of the season for the Rams, they have now surpassed their total of last year with just 17. They are now 18-16 on the season. The loss for East Stroudsburg, and they are now 10-19. Once again, the final totals on the ball game. We'll flash them up there for you. We've had a very, very interesting game here this afternoon. Philadelphia Textile defeating visiting East Stroudsburg by a score of 5-3. For Dan Baker and for all of our crew, I'm John McAdams. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you again real soon. Once again, the final score, the Philadelphia College of Textile and Science Rams 5, the East Stroudsburg University Warriors 3. Good afternoon, everyone.